it's in baseball anyway. There's a phenomenon where if an umpire calls two close strikes in a row, he is much less likely to call the next close pitch a strike, right? He is trying to even out the streak in his own mind. And there's incredible data in sports now, and especially in baseball. And they were able to look at millions of pitches and actually look at the precise location of these pitches and show that baseball umpires are prone to making decisions under the gambler's fallacy, where they try to adjust for those streaks in their own minds. And that is sort of a trivial example. Of course, there are billions of dollars on the line in a baseball game, but really we're talking about calling balls and strikes. But it's not so trivial when you take that phenomenon and you apply it to an asylum court. And what they found is that if an asylum judge has granted asylum to 2 or 3 refugees in a row, he is much less likely to grant asylum to the next case, regardless of the merits of the case. Now, that's crushing, right? That's kind of a depressing number. That's not calling balls and strikes. That's deciding whether or not someone stays in the United States. And really, it's deciding whether or not they live or they die. And the fact that people whose jobs it is to make informed decisions, judgments, right? They are judges, can be prone to such a bias of the mind, I think was a really powerful example. And it shows the human consequences of the hot hand and the gambler's fallacy. It's not just about basketball or it's not just about baseball. You have a life in your hand when you are deciding whether or not they deserve asylum in the US. And so, in the book, I write about an Iraqi sculptor who applied for asylum, whose case gets derailed for a whole bunch of different reasons, in part because there's an incredible backlog right now. The asylum system has really failed in the United States. But once he does get into the court, it was just sort of stunning to me that it almost doesn't matter why he wants to be in the United States or where he is seeing a judge or which judge he is seeing. It's a matter of which cases have been heard directly before him. And it really is more like a roulette wheel than anything else, which you don't want, the asylum court to operate like a casino, but in many ways it actually does.